The hour of convening having arrived, all members will come to the floor and take their seats. All members of the House will come to the floor and take their seats. I'll ask the clerk to ring the bell. All members will please come to the floor and take their seats. We're about to have the morning roll call. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. Well, good morning. I told a group earlier today that when we adjourn today that it will be the end of the first quarter of this session, and there's no score. So we have a lot of guests with us today, and I want to welcome all of them to the gallery. A lot of special groups are visiting with us. I'm going to ask the doorkeepers now to please close the doors and keep them closed. We will have scripture reading and prayer by the chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this morning will be introduced by the lady from the 23rd House District, Representative Mandy Ballinger. Representative Ballinger.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is with great pride that I introduce to you the Most Reverend Wilton Daniel Gregory, Archbishop of Atlanta. Wilton Daniel Gregory has been the leader of the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Atlanta since January of 2005. The Archdiocese is comprised of 69 counties in North Georgia and currently numbers over 1 million members in the Archdiocese. Born and educated in Chicago, he was ordained a priest for the Archdiocese of Chicago on May 9th, 1973. In 1993, he was ordained an auxiliary bishop of Chicago, and in February 1994, he was installed as the 7th bishop for the Diocese of Belleville, Illinois, where he served for the next 11 years. On December 9, 2004, Pope John Paul II appointed Bishop Gregory as the 6th Archbishop of the Archdiocese of Atlanta, and he was installed on January 17, 2005. Archbishop Gregory is a recognized leader of the Catholic Church in the United States and in the world. In November 2001, the Catholic Bishops of the United States elected him President of the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops for a 3-year term. Under his leadership, the bishops implemented the Charter for the Protection of Children and Young People. He has served on numerous national and international committees of bishops. He has been recognized with multiple honorary doctoral degrees, as well as additional awards for his service to the Church and to society. He joined an illustrious group of preachers with his induction into the Martin Luther King Board of Preachers at Morehouse College here in Atlanta. It is my pleasure to introduce you to my Archbishop, Wilton Daniel Gregory.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Speaker. Let us, Lord, we pray this day, as did the youthful King Solomon, give your servant, therefore, an understanding heart to judge your people and to distinguish right from wrong. For who is able to govern this vast people of yours? This day, like Solomon, we pray for wisdom and not riches, for an understanding heart and not a dominating spirit, for a desire to do God's will and not one that seeks coarse power. As God answered Solomon's prayer, making him among the wisest rulers in Scripture, may the Lord grant each one of you a portion of that same spirit of wisdom, humility, meekness, and mercy, so that you too might govern wisely and compassionately the people of the state of Georgia. May your every effort be blessed with success and integrity, so that this entire community may praise God for having raised up in our own midst men and women who reflect his goodness and justice, as did his servant Solomon, and all those like him who have served the Lord with integrity of heart and wisdom, well beyond our human ability to explain or to overwhelm. As the Lord granted such to Solomon, so may he bestow those blessings upon each one of you in these our own times. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Doorkeepers will please unlock the doors. Chair recognizes Chairman Chokas, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Information and Audits has read the journals of the previous legislative day and have found them to be correct.
Chairman Chokas, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? The chair hears none, and the journal is confirmed. The clerk will read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day.
Mr. O'Neill, at 146 moves that the following be established as the order of business during the first part of the period of unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions, first reading and reference of House bills and resolutions, second reading of bills and resolutions, report of standing committees, third reading and passage of uncontested local bills and resolutions, morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? The chair hears none, and the resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions, the clerk will read.
House Bill 30 by Representative Mitchell of the 88th and Stover of the 71st, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Article 3 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to local boards of education.
Education.
House Bill 181 by Representative Bentley of the 139th, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act to reincorporate and provide a new charter for the city of Marshallville and Macon County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 182 by Representative Setzler of the 35th, a bill entitled to an act to amend Code Section 40-5-67.1 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to chemical tests and implied consent notices.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 183 by Representative Knight of the 130th, Petrie of the 166th, Peak of the 141st, Dempsey of the 13th, Randall of the 142nd, and others. The bill will be entitled an act to amend Article 13 of Chapter 7 of Title 31 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to private home care providers.
Health and Human Services.
House Bill 184 by Representative Williamson of the 115th, Moores of the 156th, Flood of the 64th, Knight of the 130th, Coomer of the 14th, and others. The bill will be entitled an act to amend Title 7 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to banking and finance.
Banks and banking.
House Bill 185 by Representative Shaw of the 176th, Station of the 104th, Taylor of the 173rd, Smith of the 134th, Williamson of the 115th, and others. A bill to be entitled an act to amend Title 33 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to insurance.
Insurance.
House Bill 186 by Representative Cecil of the 35th, Gravely the 67th, and Donahue of the 30th. A bill will be entitled an act to amend Article 4, Chapter 11 of Title 16 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to dangerous instrumentalities and practices.
Public Safety and Homeland Security.
House Bill 187 by Representative Donahue of the 30th, Hawkins of the 27th, and Barr of the 103rd. The bill will be entitled an act to amend an act providing a new charter for the city of Flowery Branch.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 188 by Representative Shaw of the 176. A bill to be entitled an act to amend an act creating a Board of Commissioners for Lanier County.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 189 by Representative Shaw of the 176. A bill to be entitled an act to amend an act creating a new Board of Education for Lanier County.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 190 by Representative Golick of the 40th, Smith of the 134th, Maxwell of the 17th, and Powell of the 32nd. A bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 1 of Title 33 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to insurance generally.
Insurance.
House Bill 191 by Representative Destration of the 104th, Rice of the 95th, Harrell of the 106th, Kirby of the 114th, Hitchens of the 161st, and others. A bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 14 of Title 47 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the Superior Court Clerk's Retirement Fund.
Retirement.
House Bill 192 by Representative Powell of the 32nd. A bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 80 of Title 36 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions regarding counties, municipal corporations, and other governmental entities.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 193 by Representative Rogers of the 29th, Maber of the 63rd, Shaw of the 176th, Smith of the 134th, and Teasley of the 37th. A bill being entitled an act to amend Chapter 25 of Title 33 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to life insurance.
Insurance.
House Bill 194 by Representative Hamilton of the 24th, Reinders of the 152nd, Powell of the 32nd, Powell of the 171st, Brockway of the 102nd, and others. A bill being entitled an act to amend Chapter 2 of Title 21 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to primaries and elections generally.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 195 by Representative Cooper of the 43rd, Randall of the 142nd, Kelly of the 16th, Dempsey of the 13th, Reinders of the 152nd, and others. A bill be entitled an act to amend Chapter 4, Title 26 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to pharmacists and pharmacies.
Health and Human Services.
House Bill 196 by Representative Reeves, the 34th, Powell of 171st, Ramsey the 72nd, Hightower the 68th, Pack the 108th, and others. A bill to be entitled an act to amend Article 3 of Chapter 8 of Title 17 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the conduct of proceedings.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 197 by Representative Jacobs of the 80th, Willard of the 51st, Fleming of the 121st, Evans of the 42nd, Welch of the 110th, and others. A bill being entitled an act to amend Chapter 12 of Title 9, Title 11, and Chapter 2 of Title 18 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to verdict and judgment.
Judiciary.
House Bill 198 by Representative Dempsey of the 13th, Dixon of the 6th, Cooper of the 43rd, Chandler of the 105th, Coleman of the 97th, and others. The bill being entitled an act to amend Part 3 of Article 16 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to student health in elementary and secondary education.
Education.
That completes first readings.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
HB 165 by Representative Bruce of the 61st, a bill to incorporate the city of South Fulton and Fulton County. HB 166 by Representative Yates of the 73rd, a bill relating to the uniform rules of the road. HB 167 by Representative Yates of the 73rd, a bill relating to imposition, rate, and computation of income taxes. HB 168 by Representative Thomas of the 56th, a bill relating to compensation of court bailiffs and expense allowance for trial and grand jurors. HB 169 by Representative Gravely of the 67th, a bill relating to registration and license requirements. HB 170 by Representative Roberts of the 155th, a bill to amend various provisions of the OCGA relating to motor vehicles and traffic. HB 171 by Representative Hightower of the 68th, a bill relating to laws and statutes. HB 172 by Representative Lumsden of the 12th, a bill relating to general provisions relative to the registration, operation, and sale of watercraft. HB 173 by Representative Jones of the 62nd, a bill relating to notice of sales made on foreclosure under power of sale. HB 174 by Representative Jones of the 62nd, a bill to amend the urban redevelopment law. HB 175 by Representative Earhart of the 36th, a bill relating to general provisions regarding state sales and use taxes. HB 176 by Representative Benson of the 31st, a bill relating to income taxes. HB 177 by Representative Wilkerson of the 38th, a bill relating to child abuse and deprivation records. HB 178 by Representative Stevens of the 164th, a bill relating to the powers of the Georgia Ports Authority. HB 179 by Representative Cooper of the 43rd, a bill relating to licensure requirements for pain management clinics. HB 180 by Representative Kidd of the 145th, a bill relating to the War Veterans Home. House Resolution 126 by Representative Trenner of the 85th, a resolution encouraging the United States Congress to pass a constitutional amendment to reverse the ruling of the United States Supreme Court and Citizens United v. Federal Election Commission. House Resolution 127 by Representative Allison of the 8th, a resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution so as to provide for the prioritized expenditure of excess state revenues, including income tax relief, in the event of a budget surplus. Senate Bill 1 by Senator Bethel of the 54th, a bill relating to insurance coverage for autism, through second readers.
Reports of standing committees. The clerk will read.
Representative Sharon Cooper, the 43rd District Chairman of the Committee on Health and Human Services, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Health and Human Services added under consideration the following bill of the House. It has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 47 do pass by committee substitute. Representative Jan Tankersley, the 160th District Chairman of the Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination, local ads out under consideration the following bills of the House. It has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 36 do pass. House Bill 67 do pass by substitute. House Bill 88 do pass. House Bill 101 do pass. House Bill 102 do pass. House Bill 148 do pass. House Bill 125 do pass. Representative Tom Weldon, the 3rd District Chairman of the Committee on Juvenile Justice, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Juvenile Justice has had under its consideration the following bill of the House. It's instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendation. House Bill 52 do pass.
We're about to go on to the local calendar. I'm going to ask the House to come to order. We're going to be voting third reading and passage of uncontested local bills. There is one bill on the local calendar which relates to homestead exemption. That requires a recorded 2/3 roll call vote for passage. If there is no objection, we will vote on the local calendar as a whole with a recorded vote. Hearing none, it is so ordered. The clerk will read the local calendar.
House Bill 36 by Representative Randall, the 142nd, Bibb County. House Bill 67 by substitute by Representative Kidd of the 145th, Baldwin County. House Bill 88 by Representative Prince of the 127th, Jefferson County. House Bill 101 by Representative Chokas of the 138th, Schley County. House Bill 102 by Representative Chokas of the 138th, Schley County. House Bill 148 by Representative Dickey of the 140th, Peach County. House Bill 125 by Representative Belton of the 112th, Morgan County.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on the local calendar? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bills? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall the bills on the local calendar now pass? All those in favor of passage of the bills on the local calendar will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And the clerk will unlock the machines. Got a problem with your machine? Can someone help Representative Carson, please? Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of the bills on the local calendar, the ayes are 146, the nays are 9. These bills, having received the requisite constitutional majority, are therefore passed. We're going on now to morning orders. Morning orders. We have a number of members who have signed up for morning orders. Due to the number, the chair is going to limit time to 1 minute each. 1 minute each. Chair recognizes for a morning order Chairman Hamilton, Chairman Mark Hamilton. House will be in order during morning orders. Chair expects members to give the members in the well attention and respect. Chairman Hamilton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, this is my 9th year here, and I don't know that I've ever come down and given a little personal word like this, but I'll say it this way. I hope it comes from the heart. I've been convicted the last 2 days in my morning devotion that I needed to say something down here in this body, and here it is. Those of you that know me, hopefully you know that I profess to be a Christian. I try to put Christ at the center of my life and make that my purpose in everything that I do. We've done 10 days down here this year so far in session. And I was raised Southern Baptist, and let me just say, in Southern Baptist we have a term called rededication, where we go forward and we tell people, and we publicly tell people that we're rededicating our life to Christ, to God, in everything we do. And I realize in the 9 years that I've been down here, I've never publicly said that. And I just feel convicted to know that as I come down here, we sometimes say we're doing the people's work. And we are to a certain degree, but I want to publicly state to you here today that I'm down here to do God's work. And that I dedicate my life not only as a man, as a husband, a father, and a grandfather, and a business owner, but also as a legislator, that I'll have the confidence, the obedience, and everything that I possibly can to come down here and to do God's work first before I do anything else. And I just appreciate you and love you and thank you for allowing me to just speak from the heart after God convicted me to say those things. God bless you, God bless Georgia, and have a great day. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the will.
Chair recognizes Chairman Chokus for a morning order.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. If you'll notice on your desk today, we've got s'mores. They've been furnished by the CASA organization. I've got many of the CASA folks standing in the gallery. Please stand up so y'all can be recognized. CASA stands for Court-Appointed Special Advocates for Our Children. And unfortunately, the need is great. We have many abused and neglected children in our juvenile court system today. Last year alone, over 2,000 CASA volunteers advocated on behalf of almost 9,000 children. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the work that they do, and the folks, especially Brad Ray from Americas. And y'all may know that Christy Lindstrom, who was the former messenger, is also a CASA volunteer. I appreciate everything that they do, and I'm grateful for you allowing me to recognize them in the House of Representatives. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Y'all have a great day.
Chair recognizes Representative Williams for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, we have a special group with us this morning. Their slogan is, we don't retire, we refire. So that group is with us in the gallery. There are three groups: the National Council of Negro Women, Hidden Hills Active Seniors, members from the Lew Walker Community Center. And there's a special person with them, my lovely wife, Ruby Tor Williams. Would you all stand up and be recognized? I want to thank Lynn McKenzie, Donna Hartley, and Room 507 for putting this on for us, the Georgia Highway Patrol. Also want to thank our Special Transportation Group, Mr. Tucker, and many other of my good close friends who's outside in the hallway. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I yield the well.
Chair recognizes Chairman Benton for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wanted to recognize a group that's here from Jackson County today. They are members of the Jackson County Chamber and also civic and community leaders. We're also celebrating the bicentennial birthday of the father of anesthetic surgery, Crawford W. Long. They're up here in the gallery behind us, standing up. If you would give them a warm house welcome. We have the reenactor for Crawford Long here today, so thank you very much.
Chair recognizes Chairman Casas for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, 10 years ago, this day, I was absent because I was at the hospital with my wife welcoming our second child, Jonathan, to the world. Those of you that have been elected with me, especially like Representative Houston, Speaker Pro Tem Jones, who were so sweet to do a resolution back then to recognize and welcome Jonathan to the world. Jonathan's celebrating his 10th birthday today, so if you see him on the floor, please wish him a very warm house happy birthday. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Earhart for a morning order. Just a moment, Mr. Chairman. We're getting a little bit noisy in here. Gentlemen may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to talk to you this morning about some reprehensible tactics from the hallway out there and some possible signs of the apocalypse, and then chickens. Let me get to the apocalypse portion of this. It seems that Senator Fort and I have found some common ground for the first time in 25 years on an issue, and I'm still trying to decide. I think we both have found a great issue, and the issue is the tax exemption for Delta Airlines. And that's where I want to talk about the reprehensible tactics out there in this hallway. Now, not all who represent this organization participate in this, but there's some things down here that just aren't done. And when you ooze along that rope out there and you threaten members of this House to take their names off of legislation by threatening service to their districts or other thuggish tactics, that's just going too far. And let me tell you guys, there's one name on that bill and probably two, my co-sponsor, Representative Maxwell, that's not coming off there. Threaten me all you want, that bill's going to be there. I see the lights on. And the chairman said, We can't be chickens about that. Referring to us, he said, step up and tax your local constituents for transportation taxes. I'm saying to you, after we take away your tax exemption. Thank you very much.
Chair recognizes Representative Gardner for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and to the members of the House. Some of you may not remember, only a few of us remember, when there were almost no women in the hall who were lobbyists. Well, Mary Long was one of those few women in the hall who was representing the Georgia Nurses Association at that time. Many of you know Mary and know that she had a stroke outside the doors of the Capitol last year. So I have a resolution to honor Mary Long, which I thought some of you might be interested in signing. So I will leave it up here. Please come and sign it. I think it would mean a lot to Mary to have a lot of signatures on this resolution. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Dempsey for a morning order.
Good morning, and thank you, Mr. Speaker. On Friday, our nation will observe National Wear Red Day. Now, we are not going to be here on Friday, but you will all be in communities and other places where you serve, and I want to encourage you to do that. You should have received information in your offices yesterday about the importance of this day. Wednesday will actually be our Go Wear Red Day here. In 2013, the #1 cause of death in Georgia was related to heart disease. Our mortality rate was 5% higher than the national rate. Each year, 1 in 3 women die of heart disease and stroke. Many of those are preventable, about 80% with education and lifestyle changes. So please join in seizing this opportunity to make this not just a day to wear red, but to begin a conversation of how we change those numbers and save lives.
Chair recognizes Chairman Lynn Smith for a morning order, and she's joined by Representative Stover, Representative Trammell, and the Majority Caucus Whip, Representative Ramsey.
Thank you, and Mr. Speaker, will be very brief. We just want to give a warm house welcome to the Noonan Youth City Council members who are sitting up there on my right, your left in the balcony. If y'all will please stand, we want to welcome you to the House chamber. Okay, look this way. Stay, Matt, stay. Did you hear me say stay?
Good boy.
Good boy.
Chair recognizes Chairman Cooper for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I want to say thank you and then ask you to do something for me. I want to thank you again for the 911 bill that you passed last year. And in that bill, it allowed police, the first responders to medical emergencies, to use a drug called Narcan to save lives for people who had had an overdose from an opiate. The second thing, and what I want to ask you to do, please go back to your police forces and see if they are carrying the Narcan packets. If they're not, go to one of your community organizations and ask them to donate Narcan to your police force. Since we left last year, we have heard again and again and again the lives being saved around Georgia from the police having this tiny little vial right here that drops into a syringe type thing, and then you put a sponge type nose on it, and by injecting it into the nose of a person, especially since it's mainly, and we have a high number of young people 18 to 29 years old that are overdosing, you can save a life and give that young person another chance. So please check and see if your police are carrying it. Wellstar in our community donated the packs, the Davis Direction donated the drugs, and the police in our area are carrying these. You can save a life, so I hope you will do that. And just for your information, last year in the state of Georgia, before it was made a Schedule II drug in October, 4.5 million, listen to that number, 4.5 million prescriptions for hydrocodone were written in this state. Another 1.2 million for Oxycontin. We have a drug problem in this state. We have to do something about it. And for the young people that are listening, please just say no to drugs. Your life is not worth taking the risk of becoming a drug addict. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Chair's going to recognize the doctor of the day now so that he can get down to the clinic to attend to our needs. The chair recognizes Representative Cooper to introduce the doctor of the day.
Thank you very much. Well, this is certainly appropriate because I have the honor of introducing Dr. Marvin Tark. He is an anesthesiologist and one of the good doctors that does pain management. So if anybody knows about the drug problem that we have in the state, Dr. Tark would certainly know that. He graduated from the State University Medical Center, and he did his residency at Grady. Here again, Grady is our safety net hospital for this state. Over 50% of the doctors in this state did a great deal of their education at Grady. He is doing research and trying new clinical drugs for chronic low back pain, osteoarthritis, and headaches. He's a member of multiple medical organizations, and we are proud to have him come today as Doctor of the Day. Thank you, Dr. Tark.
Well, thank you very much for allowing me to be here, and I just wanted you to know Sharon is a woman after my own heart because she really does lobby for the things that I believe in very strongly, and I think she's at the forefront of what needs to be done with our drug problem here in Georgia. But I want to thank the legislature for allowing me to pay back the state. I mean, I got good training at Georgia and at Grady. I really appreciate all the work that they did for me and helped me a lot, so I want to give back a little bit to the legislature here and to the state for the good training I got, and it's my pleasure to be here, to be a doctor of the day, and hope to be here again next year. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Clark for a morning order.
Mr. Speaker, just wanted to ask the Assembly to help me recognize a special group of young Americans who are visiting the Capitol today from Riverside Elementary School and the Future of America. So thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can y'all stand? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes Representative Ramsey for a morning order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Over the last several months, 7 Georgians have put in the time and the training and the dedication to be selected for the United States World Special Olympics, representing the United States team this summer in Los Angeles. I've done a resolution commending those 7 athletes from Georgia and inviting them to come down and have all of us wish them well and wish them luck as they go and represent our state and our country this summer. It's a big honor, and would love to have all of you sign on to this resolution honoring these folks that are from all over the state. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm gonna put the resolution over here on the well over here to the left.
Chair recognizes Representative Ballinger for a morning order.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to recognize today is Domestic Violence Day here at the Capitol. As some of your local advocates are going to be asking you to come out to the ropes, and they're going to be chatting with you about a piece of legislation that I'm carrying this year, harassing communications. I would also like to recognize in the gallery, if y'all would give them a big house welcome, some advocates that are here visiting with us today. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Chair.
Chair recognizes Representative Flood for a morning order.
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today, I would like to recognize another special group that are visiting with us today. Today is AABE Day, and we've got a number of members from the American Association of Blacks in Energy. We've got President of the local chapter, Rodney Russell, here in the gallery. Would you please stand and be recognized, along with the rest of the group here? Thank you.
She's trying to get a photograph.
Chair recognizes Representative Corbett for an invite resolution. Clerk will read the caption to the invite resolution.
House Resolution 38 by Representative Corbett of the 174th. A resolution commending the Eccles County Drama Club and inviting the members to be recognized by the House of Representatives and for other purposes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. At this time, it is indeed my honor and pleasure to introduce our guests this morning. We have the Eccles County High School drama team. For the past 3 years, I've had the pleasure of sitting in on a performance they do for the local community as sort of a warm-up to get ready for the region and hopefully the state competition. And every year, after the play is over, it just amazes me with their talent that they have. This year, when the play was over, I just sat there in my chair and said, wow, where'd that come from? My wife was not able to go, so she called me that night on the phone, and she asked me how was the play. I said, best one yet. In 2012 and 2013, the plays were big hits. They won the region in 2012 and went on to place 4th in the state. 2013, they won the region again and come in 2nd in the state. This year's team wasn't just a big hit, it was a home run. They hit it out of the park. They won the region for the 3rd straight year and then went on to win the state competition. To say that they captivated the audience as well as the judges would be an understatement. At this time, I would like to recognize the team that's up in the gallery. If they'll stand, and if everybody will stand and give them a hand. Thank y'all. Mr. Reagan over there. On the floor with me today, I've got our school superintendent, Mr. Tim Reagan. If he'll raise his hand right over here he's kind of ducking out on me. But anyway, a lot of y'all probably served with his father, Mr. Harold Reagan, the Honorable Harold Reagan. for several years. We're glad to have Mr. Reagan with us today. We've also got Miss Annalise Ham. She is our drama and English teacher and the director of the plays. She's the mastermind behind the success that this club has had over the years. I asked her recently, I said, have you got a play picked out for next year? She said she's read 2 or 3, but she waits to see which students sign up for drama the following year, and then she picks a play to fit those students' personalities. And I'd say she's doing a pretty good job. Ms. Ham, would you like to say something about the team?
We are truly blessed in Eccles County to have the wonderful students that we have, and we are very honored by this recognition. And we thank you very much for having us here today.
Thank you, Ms. Ham. At this time, we also have Ms. Amber Jones. She's our music teacher. I've been told that public speaking is the thing that most people fear the most, getting in front of somebody and speaking. Well, she must be a real good motivator. Not only do these students get up and speak in front of large crowds, they sing solos, and that's got to be much harder, I would think. Thank you, Ms. Jones. We also have 3 students that have participated in drama all 4 years of their high school career. We've got Joshua Joyce, Norandino Rodriguez, and Candace Register. Give them a hand. Then we have some individuals in the gallery that won some individual awards that I'd like to recognize. But first, we have our principal with us, Dave Rosser. Dave, will you stand up? Thank you, Dave. All right. We've had the all-area best actor, Nathan Ealing. Is Nathan with us? Nathan? We've got the all-area best actress, Brandy Main. And then we had some state winners. Our all-state, all-star cast, Joshua Joyce, who's here on the floor with us. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the best actress in the state, we have Miss Emily Borshort. Thank you, Emily. At this time, on behalf of the House of Representatives, I would like to present this resolution to the 3 students that have been in drama all 4 years. Thank y'all.
I'm going to ask the House to come to order. We have another very special group of guests with us that we're going to honor. I'm going to ask the clerk to read the caption to an invite resolution.
House Resolution 111 by Representatives Burns of the 159th, Tankersley the 160th, Parrish the 158th, Ramsey the 72nd, Epps the 144th, and others. A resolution recognizing February 3rd, 2015 as Georgia Southern University Day at the Capitol, and inviting President Brooks Keel, Dr. Jean Bartels, Rachel Newhouser, and Andrew Smallwood to be recognized by the House of Representatives and for other purposes.
gives me great pleasure to recognize Chairman Burns for an invite resolution. And just let me say that today we're all Eagles here in the Georgia House of Representatives. Chairman Burns.
Thank you. Thank you. We're always glad to have you to be an Eagle. We know that you are. Good morning. It's good to always good to have folks come to Atlanta and be a part of our family. And that's certainly what Georgia Southern is. They're a part of the Georgia family and part of the Georgia House of Representatives, and we appreciate them. If my colleagues that went to Georgia Southern attended there, if you'd come down front and join us, we'd appreciate it. We also have the Bullock County delegation, Chairman Parrish and Chairman Tankersley with us, so I appreciate them being here. As you know, Georgia Southern is located in Statesboro down in Bullock County. I believe more and more and more these days, it's happening more frequently, Georgia Southern is the place that Georgians are sending their children, their sons and daughters, to attend and receive their higher education, prepare them for the workplace of tomorrow. We've proven that, and it's being proven every day with the support of this body, and we appreciate everything that's happening there. There are a couple of introductions that are part of that whole process that I would like to make at this time, and Dr. Keel will introduce some students in just a moment. But the provost of Georgia Southern is Dr. Gene Bartels. Dr. Bartels is here on the podium with us. If you'll hold your applause just for a second. And probably the most important person at Georgia Southern, including you, Dr. Keel, is the First Lady of Georgia Southern, Dr. Tammy Shalhoub. We would welcome them to the House. Along with these other graduates of Georgia Southern, Mr. Speaker, if I may have a personal point of privilege, my wife Dale and I met there a little over 40 years ago, I guess it has been, and she pursued me very vigorously, and she finally was successful, and that's enough. She was finally successful. Thank you, Dale. Georgia Southern does offer the full educational experience in every respect of that word, and is fostered by these people on the podium today. Many things are available at Georgia Southern, from ROTC to the Wildlife Center to great recreational opportunities and great housing opportunities for our students. First-class student university that really focuses on the student. One of the important parts I wanted to bring to you, and then I'll close. The students in Georgia Southern are engaged in the community. Over 3,900 of them have been involved in community service projects, logging more than 369,000 hours of community service. That's over 15,000 days, a little more than our 40 days. Georgia Southern is an important component of higher education in the state of Georgia, and we really appreciate them. Oh, I forgot one thing. Oh, we do have an athletic program, a football team, and a pretty darn good basketball team just having a good season this year too. So with that, I'll leave it. We thank you for allowing us to have them here, and I'll introduce to you Dr. Brooks Keel. We thank the premier president in the university system, Dr. Brooks Keel of Georgia Southern University.
It's always a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker Pro Tem, Representatives Parrish, Burns, and Tankersley, and ladies and gentlemen of the House, thank you so much for this great honor. On behalf of more than 20,500 students, 2,300 faculty and staff, and 75,000 alumni, I want to personally thank you for all that you do for the great state of Georgia. It's my privilege to have two of our students here, and students are really what it's all about. I'd like to introduce you to, and these are not only just Georgia Southern students, but they're doing internships up here, so I'm sure you'll have an opportunity to interact with them. First is Rachel Newhauser, and then Andrew Smallwood. Would you please welcome them? Thank you. We are the largest university south of I-20, and with that we take a great responsibility in not only training the sons and daughters and providing the sons and daughters of Georgia with an education, but in promoting the economic development of our region. Let me give you one quick example of what we're doing to address that. We were given the ability to offer a bachelor's degree by the University System of Georgia in manufacturing engineering. It is the only manufacturing engineering degree in the southeastern United States. and one of only 24 in the entire country. We hope that this will help us address not only the workforce needs for what is going to be a tremendous growth opportunity for South Georgia, but also to serve as a magnet to help bring additional business and industry into this part of the state. We are committed to not only training the sons and daughters of this state, but in producing the economic development that South Georgia and the rest of the country deserves. So we appreciate very much all the support that you've given us to be able to do that. And Mr. Speaker, if you will allow me just to remind this august body that we are the university a year ago to beat the University of Florida in the swamp. Thank you. Last year, we were one questionable play away from beating Georgia Tech. And Mr. Speaker, we play University of Georgia this year, and I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, and go Eagles. Thank you, sir. That's a real pleasure.
Thank you. The chair is going to direct Chairman Burns to go visit with the First Lady of Newington over there and the clerk will read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions.
The following invite resolution is being read and referred to the Committee on Rules. A resolution commending Willie Bolden on the active role he played in the Civil Rights Movement and inviting him to be recognized by the House of Representatives and for other purposes. Recognizing February 17, 2015 as Builder Owners and Managers Association of Georgia Day at the Capitol, offering best wishes for the success of the BOMA Georgia Foundation, and inviting members to be recognized by the House of Representatives and for other purposes. Recognizing and commending Mrs. Linda Holbrook Lawrence on the grand occasion of her retirement and for other purposes. Recognizing and commending the Effingham YMCA Christian Leadership Academy of the Effingham YMCA and for other purposes. Honoring the life and memory of William Bill Stephen Perry Sr. and expressing sincere regret at his passing and for other purposes. Recognizing and commending Oliver John Park and for other purposes. Commending the restaurant industry of Georgia and recognizing February 18, 2015 as State Restaurant Day at the State Capitol for other purposes. Recognizing and commending Vertical Church on the occasion of its 3rd anniversary and for other purposes. Recognizing January 24, 2015 as the 50th anniversary of the death of Sir Winston Churchill and honoring his memory in the House of Representatives and for other purposes. Commending Michael Crofton for being chosen as part of the Team USA to compete in this year's Special Olympic World Summer Games and for other purposes. Commending John Kirkland for being chosen as part of Team USA to compete in the 2015 Special Olympic World Summer Games and for other purposes. Commending the Sea Trust Institute and its Action Within a Resilient Environment program and for other purposes. Commending Georgia civil rights leader Frank Holloway and for other purposes. Commending Eva Kendrick for her work with the civil rights movement and for other purposes. Honoring the life and memory of Herman and Jerome H.J. Russell Sr. and for other purposes. Congratulating Cecil Woods upon her 105th birthday and for other purposes. Honoring Colonel Keith Herbert Hodges, United States Army retiree, and for other purposes. Good. That completes the reading of privilege resolutions.
Is there objection to the adoption of the privilege resolutions? The chair hears none, and the resolutions are adopted. If you have pages here today, that we're going to be doing page photographs at the rostrum immediately upon adjournment. If you have signed up for an announcement, we're going on to announcements now. Chair recognizes Chairman Rice for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to come up and remind everybody, you got a note on your desk for me about the Legislative Fellowship, 7:15 tomorrow morning. No breakfast, but a lot of good food in terms of what we're going to be discussing tomorrow. So you pardon me, but Senator Hill has the devotional tomorrow, and I don't know if that dissuades you, but I hope it persuades you to come and join us tomorrow morning in 417, 7:15.
Chair recognizes Chairman Carl Rogers for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, the Higher Education Committee will meet today. A little change. If you look at your letter, we were going to adopt the rules of the committee after a joint meeting, but that's been changed. We're going to do it at 2:45 in CLOB 406. So 2:45, the Higher Ed Committee. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes Chairman Lynn Smith for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members of the House. There will be a House Natural Resources and Environment meeting tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. The room is 506. That's a change from our normal meeting room. Tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, room 506, CLOB. Thank you.
House will come to order. I'm sure that some of the members are listening for these announcements. I'm having trouble hearing. So I'm going to ask you to be in order for just a few more minutes, and then we'll let you go. Chair recognizes Chairman Maxwell for an announcement. Chair recognizes Representative Rakestraw for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Science and Technology Committee meeting scheduled for today has been canceled, and it will be rescheduled for next Tuesday, room 506 at 3 o'clock, same place, same time. And the Women's Caucus meeting will meet at 11 a.m., well, upon adjournment, it's after 11, in room 125 of the Capitol today upon adjournment. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Dempsey for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There is a bill that was just assigned to the Education Committee, House Bill 198, the Jason Flatt Act. It's a very important measure to help our schools, our educators have an opportunity for more in-service training tools to help address the tragic and heartbreaking concern of suicide among our students and young people across this state. It will be in the clerk's office. I would like to encourage everyone in this body to read it. If you have questions, to come talk to me, but to consider putting your name beside that bill. I would love to see a great majority of our House chamber stand up and fight this plague that is so terrible and pervasive. On Thursday also, it will be Suicide Prevention Awareness Day at the Capitol. I know many of us will not be here, but some will. If you can, I encourage you to listen to those advocates and to help them in the cause that they are committed to fight. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Sharper for an announcement.
Thank you, Speaker. You guys know that we really take this serious about our doorkeepers photo that we have on the last day of each week of the session. But if you want to participate tomorrow, the color is red, okay? The color is red. So we appreciate you guys that's been doing it week after week. So once again, the color is red. Thank you, Speaker.
Chair recognizes Representative Taylor for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There will be a meeting of the full House Regulated Industries Committee in room 506 CLOB at 2:30 today. Again, House Regulated Industries Committee, 506 LOB at 2:30. Thank you.
That completes our announcements. Reminder that we'll be doing page photographs at the rostrum immediately upon adjournment. So, Chair recognizes the Majority Leader of the House for a motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move this House now adjourn until 10 a.m. Wednesday morning, February 4th, 2015.
The Majority Leader has moved that this House be adjourned until Wednesday morning, February the 4th at 10 a.m. All those in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed will say no. The ayes have it. This House is adjourned until Wednesday at 10 a.m.